Joining us online is the president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Mr. Leighton Johnson. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. Good morning to your listeners.
Wonderful. How are you doing today?
I'm well. Thanks for asking.
All right. So congratulations on the installment. A lot is on your shoulders in terms of representation. What is the mood and tone of your organization and its members this morning?
The fact is, the mood of the organization is that it stands ready to continue advocating for teachers' rights, for improved conditions of service, and of course to ensure that those unresolved issues within the compensation review, those are treated with. Teachers are usually anxious at the start of a new school year, and I believe that is the mood at this time. The fact is, our teachers are caring individuals, and in many instances, this anxiety is coupled with excitement because they are really trying to, do the best for the nation's children.
Now, we can't overlook the fact that the availability, the group of teachers that we're accustomed to has changed. We are no
Yes.
we are seeing that we are now introducing new graduates, fresh teachers into the fold. Some of those who have been there before have taken themselves away. We are listening to the utterances from the Ministry of Education with regards to teacher resignations, and they're saying that this is normal. Every year we have about X number of teachers migrating from the profession, but it's not an issue, it's not a cause for concern. Parents, on the other hand, are saying that, Miss Johnson, who did teach my son 2 years ago, who I was looking forward to teaching my daughter this year, she gone out of the system. When my pick me, I go do how we feel. And then there's also the how would I say, the formal side of it, of teachers not giving that due notice. And so the education ministry is saying that, well, we can't plan for these things because some teachers are not doing the resignation the right way. How does this all unfold and impacts the experience of our children this September?
All right. So, of course, over the last 2 years, last year into this year, our education sector has lost approximately 10% of its teaching, of its teachers. And that, in my estimation, is cause of concern. Though there have been policy extensions and mechanisms put in place to alleviate or reduce the impact of the teacher migration, it still poses a challenge because at this point, there are schools that have not been able to fill critical vacancies. If you were to look in last Sunday's Gleaner, there were 105 advertisements for teachers in clear vacancies.
Yes.
That means someone has either resigned or someone has gone into retirement. So these are clear vacancies. At the ninth hour, with so many advertisements, it's an indication that schools at this point have not filled critical positions. It makes the system anxious and it creates additional tension for teachers and school administrators because at this point, all principals rather, want their schools to be settled. They want to have their full complement of teachers. They want to ensure that everything is in place. And of course, parents and students too want to know that when they return to the schoolroom, there is a teacher there who will be in charge of a class and who will continue to cater to the needs of the children. The reality is that this occurred last year, and I want to correct something. Yes, teacher migration is not a new phenomenon. It happens all the time, but we have not seen teachers migrating from our country in such large numbers in a very long time. There is a global teacher shortage, and Jamaica is the ripest and most fruitful and fertile recruiting ground for our overseas counterparts. Recruiters from Europe are here, from Asia are here, from North America are here. They are buoyant, they are vigilant, and teachers are enticed. Teachers are going. So there is a concern. Notwithstanding that, our educators or school leaders have been creative. Last year, we were able to utilize the mechanism of teacher sharing, meaning a teacher is delivering the curriculum to schools in very close proximity. We saw that working last year. We saw a situation where teachers who went on vacation leave came back to school and worked in their own locum tenent, meaning they were paid for their vacation leave. So they came back to school and they worked in their position and they were paid for that. We continue to utilize the services of retired teachers who are able-bodied and who are willing to come back into the sector. And of course, there are those pre-trained graduates and other technically competent individuals who have the content in different areas, not necessarily teachers, but they are able to deliver the content. We have utilized their skills in the classroom. Of course, we are utilizing and encouraging persons, pre-trained teachers to come in the classroom, to get mentorship, to get training, and having garnered some experience, they can now go into the classroom or go into college to be fully trained as a teacher. Of course, there is the vexing issue of teachers not giving the due notice. There is that vexing issue. And of course, as the Jamaica Teachers Association, we will continue to encourage our teachers to do the right thing. The right thing is, if you are permanently employed, you must give your employers, your administrators, adequate notice. The Code of Regulations, which governs how we act, dictates what it is that we are to do. So I, as the president, will continue to advocate and insist and ask and lobby our members to do the right thing all the time. Teachers are leaving simply because they need a better life. They need to comfortably take care of their families. They need to improve their standards of living. They want to own a house. They need to build a house or buy a house. And the compensation package that our teachers are currently receiving here cannot make them live comfortably in many instances. And this is why they are leaving. Teachers don't want to leave. But when they are enticed and they see the opportunity where they can move with their families and the pay is better and the resources are better, then our teachers are making the decision. And who can blame them at this time?
Now, Mr. Johnson, you said a lot of stuff that I wanted to be highlighted, but I just want, because I personally, I call myself a bit of a pessimist when it comes to back to school. I'm not really one of the optimistic Jamaicans, because for me, I kind of liken it really to football, in a sense where when the transfer market comes around, we know, so we're going to say Mbappe drama. It's just a given.
Yeah.
There's going to be Mbappe drama. Mr. Johnson, is it for the foreseeable future, can we the Jamaicans now say that, hey, look, every back to school, it's just we're just gonna have these problems with these issues with our teachers?
No, I won't predict that this is going to continue for much longer. I am not going to predict that. What I can indicate is that there are still committed and dedicated teachers remaining here. We've lost 10%. However, we are still creating additional teachers. However, not at the rate that we want. The system is still generating teachers.
Yes.
Okay.
Teachers will garner the experience, and we will, in times to come, settle down. Again, it is important for us to note that teachers don't necessarily want to leave. The majority of our teachers are still here They are still here. They don't want to leave. The fact is, if we improve their compensation and improve the image of the teaching profession, I guarantee that our teachers will remain in our shores. So
let's
that's the direction of our conversation.
let,
That's where we must take it, improving compensation and improving the image of our profession. And I guarantee our teachers will remain here.
Let's explore that for a minute, Sir Johnson. Now, in the recently concluded negotiations, the government would have said that, listen, teachers, many positions would have enjoyed 100, 200, 300% improvement over where they're coming from. Now, again, because me have my wife in the system, and my wife would be amidst those teachers who are 10, 15, 20 years in the system, and in that problematic band that only saw a 10, a 9%, 10% increase, because structurally, you are saying that to move from the band that makes some money, coming out of school, you make some money. Teachers at that level, they're good. You're a senior teacher, you're good. You're a principal, you're good. But for the majority in that band that make only maybe 2.83 million per annum, the majority of our teachers fall in that bracket. What are you going to do to lobby the government to either create more senior teacher positions within schools or do something better to have that, that line of demarcation between band 4 and band 5 more practical?
Yeah. Gentlemen, there's a philosophy or an ideology that the government implemented. And we want this ideology to cascade to every teacher and as a matter of fact, to every hardworking Jamaican. The ideology that the government has promoted and promulgated is that if they pay their workers well, then they will retain the best and the brightest. We want that ideology to be promulgated
among the teaching
every hardworking Jamaican.
That is true.
And we are approaching another negotiating period. And during this negotiating period, these are things that we will again put on the table, that there has to be a realignment of the bands. There has to be an adjustment of the bands to ensure that our teachers within the middle core, those in the middle band, must benefit from the negotiations. That is the commitment that we are making to the teachers, that as we take steps to go into a next round of negotiations, this is something that is going to be priority. It is going to be at the top of the list. And the main argument is that the government has this philosophy and ideology. We now expect that there is going to be equity in how this ideology is implemented right across the board.
And in your stewardship, Sir Johnson, what other areas of improvement will you be advocating? What other areas that you see important for you to complete or to bring some light to in your stewardship as the head of the organization?
Yeah, so definitely we must improve the terms and conditions surrounding how our teachers work. That is urgent and essential. It is necessary for us to improve the compensation package. It is urgent and necessary for our teachers' voices to be heard. So we want teachers to be actively involved in the crafting of educational policy and the structure to ensure as much as possible it is the teacher who is advising the minister on educational reform, on strategies to implement, on improvements in education. We want our teachers to be empowered. We want to improve the cadre of master teachers within our schools. There is the opportunity for more teachers to become master teachers. And also, this is an opportunity for increased income. We want more teachers to become master teachers. We want to focus on early childhood education. There is a thrust in early childhood that must be given attention. Every speech you hear about education speaks about early childhood. We need early childhood to be given the attention that it deserves at this time. We also need to ensure that special education is not left out of the mix. We want to, as a JTA, indicate that there has to be the establishment of additional diagnostic centers across the nation. There are students who have special needs in our regular classrooms and they can't learn in our regular classrooms, but our teachers are held accountable for their performance, and these students cannot learn in the regular classroom. We need to establish centers for our special educators, and importantly, we must drive an accelerated program. There are those students who are intellectually advanced, but they have to go through the rigors of the 5-year high school or secondary school program. We now want to advance these or develop programs and policies to advance our students. And of course, safety and security in our schools is a key priority. Our teachers must feel safe. Our students want to be safe. We must ensure that we create an environment that is nurturing, an environment that is non-threatening for all individuals. And of course, within the Jamaica Teachers Association, we want to improve our image. We want to improve communication. We want to ensure that we build trust again in our members.
Well said. A whole heap on your plate, Sir Johnson. I wish you well in your endeavor. Looking forward to you having a successful term in the post of president of the Jamaica Teachers Association. A very heavy seat to be sitting in right now, but we're glad you're the man in the chair at the moment. Congratulations on your appointment, and we wish you all the best. Have yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thanks for having me this morning. All the best. Have a great day.
Was our pleasure, Mr. Johnson. Right, Bridget. Boss in a hot seat, brother. Hey.